So as Hope receives the ball back here on the recycle, what I would have liked to have seen here is Shelby on the top of our screen, pretty much where the ref was stood the entire game. Right in between these two girls here, split them. Okay, that's going to draw at least one or two of them in, and that's going to open up space for our left back or even our striker to receive from there. Whether or not Shelby can turn there depends on whether this girl that's marking her goes with her. But coming short and asking for that would have been a much better option for Hope rather than giving her what she is forced to do, which is a long ball over the top. Of course, I want to encourage the diagonal balls wherever possible, but this one doesn't need to be in the air, it doesn't need to be long. We could have very easily shown short here into that gap and built it up from here. So here we're going to have Anna picking up the ball in a good attacking position, starting to carry the ball up the field. You'll see immediately a couple of issues. Number one, I think Anna maybe could have released a lot quicker into Kit Kat's feet here, okay, and then we can combine with the three forwards from there. The other issue is Avery is standing a little short to the ball. So as Anna receives it, she's almost in Anna's path. Okay, if Avery here, I don't mind that she's dropped in to receive, can now start pulling away while still showing feet. That would have probably helped out a lot more. And then as we let the play continue a little bit, we're going to highlight Shelby here on the left-hand side. As Anna moves towards Shelby, Shelby's body language turns as if she wants a through ball. But as you can see, it's an impossible pass. So here's Anna carrying it. And now we've got Shelby's body language as if she wants a through ball, okay? Realistically here, again, if Shelby just turns and shows feet here, or even makes a nice cutting run across the field, either this right back is going to go with Shelby, or she's going to stay, in which case Anna can bounce the ball off her, okay? Instead, we kind of run away, and it just is a pass to Shelby's heels, as we have done a lot of times when we're trying to play through balls. It just wasn't the right decision. So what we're about to highlight here is an area of weakness for us at the moment, where our left back and right back are getting caught, moving towards the ball in the midfield and leaving their right winger and left winger free to run in behind. So as we watch here, Sydney, I believe it is, at the bottom of our screen on the left side, is going to be moving towards pressure in here, okay? It's not the right decision. She should be thinking about this girl here. Don't need Sydney to be tight to the right winger, but she should definitely be thinking about dropping in here so the pass through can't happen. Ideally, Hope should be coming across a little bit as well, a quicker transition here. We've lost the ball, so let's get into a nice defensive shape. We kind of leaving Sydney with a lot of work to do. She's got a lot of bodies in front of her, so she can be forgiven for making the wrong choice at the time. So now you can start to see Sydney being dragged in towards the ball. You can clearly see the centre mid in here is going to be the first one to it, or be the one that can pressure it if it first one there. We've also got Hope, who is now dropping into this cover position. So we can ideally say that Sydney just hold here and keep dropping with your player. Instead, she keeps on going. And now we're in a really bad situation, okay? So now we've got a 2v1 against Hope. Luckily, nothing comes of this, but we have to be a little in future games to stick with our player and maybe just a bit more communication as to who's meant to go and pressure that ball. And credit where credit's due, Sydney gets back to cover, but it really shouldn't have ever happened. So here, what I want to highlight is something I've spoken about in a few other videos now, and it's something that I want to really get right. Switch the field nicely, really working as hard as we can to switch the field now, which is great. Sometimes it's a little fruitless in that we're kind of switching it without really having a intention with the ball. We're just kind of on autopilot saying, oh, we meant to switch here, so I'm going to switch. I'd like for us to really have an idea of where it's going. And again, as I mentioned earlier with the Shelby opportunity, when she could have dropped in, they don't all need to be in the air. In fact, I'd prefer most of them to be on the floor. If there's a gap to be hit, or we can find a split, then just keep it on the ground. That's where we're going to be a little stronger. Our aerial control is not our strength. I'd rather see it on the ground. So here's another perfect example. Gabby receiving it and starting to carry the ball up the field. My right winger in here, I believe it's Kit Kat. I would love for her to be inside right now, okay? So as soon as she recognizes that we've won the ball, we move inside and kind of occupy the gap between their left back and their centre back. There's the space to be had, all right? What we would build from here is obviously that's going to kind of draw a lot of players onto this left side of the field. That would free up space for our right back in Licky to now go and attack up there. So this is all a quick transition here on winning the ball and then moving up. So right now everybody should be into a more attack-minded mindset. So instead, carrying it. A lot of touches. Still plenty of time for players to be moving inside. Again, we got players running away from the ball. I like this here, showing for the ball. But again, this gap just to be attacked and still nobody going into it. Now it starts to happen, but by now their left back is alert to it, and now she's going to come with us. If it had happened 3, 4, 5 touches earlier, and she's already over there, you can see Licky's got all that space to go into, and maybe this girl's not even alert to it, because now that Gabby's carrying the ball up here, now these guys are on high alert that this space is there to be attacked. If we do it immediately and call for it, this pass is going to be much, much harder to hit now. So that's the pass that Gabby eventually plays, but we could have done it so much earlier. So once again, I'm going to be highlighting a centre mid receiving the ball and then possibly making the wrong decision in the moment to pass or the direction of the pass or the pass selection. So as Anna receives it here, we've got quite a tight front three. We were in possession here, so there's not really any reason for us to be this tight right now, but that's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I am trying to make here is Anna receives, and again, we've got Kit Kat on the outside of the fullback. Now, I don't mind that Kit Kat's there now, okay? I would have liked to have seen her as she sees Anna receive the ball, immediately make that move inside to go for the through ball, or even running behind because she had this girl on toast for speed all day. So make that running behind immediately on seeing Anna with space and time to get her head up and play forwards. Instead, Kit Kat holds her position. I think Anna plays the pass that she thinks should be on, and it kind of turns into a half through ball, half pass towards feet, and nothing comes of it. If Kit Kat, and I've said this before, if the person off the ball, in this case Kit Kat, shows Anna what she wants with her body language and movement off the ball, then Anna's probably going to hit that gap all day long, right in between their centre back and left back, instead of playing it kind of half-heartedly just in towards that general area. So here's another example of defenders getting caught moving towards the ball and losing sight of players in behind. Now, it's not so much left back and right back, but it's more about centre back getting pulled high up the field. What's frustrating about this is that we kind of get 2 chances at getting this right, and we don't either time. So the first time, okay, we make a mistake, all right, that we should recognize by now that this girl is the threat. We've also got this girl that's splitting Soap and Sydney. So immediately my thought is, let's get Soap dropped in. We've just lost possession, quick transition, let's drop 5 yards, okay? Just get on there, okay? Because she's in her own half, she can't be offside, so let's just drop on, okay? I'm fine with Anna where she is. I think maybe covering the space in here a little bit more, trying to stop the pass through. but definitely Hope needs to be coming across now, getting in goal side, and Sydney recognizing when we lose the ball, get immediately inside of this girl here. So still nobody picking her up, eyes drawn to the ball, body language, hips, everything turned towards the ball, nobody aware of the striker in behind, okay? We win the ball back here, and then still everybody's freezing, still nobody's picking her up, okay? It could be argued that Licky's trying to communicate to somebody here that she's got two, so somebody should be dropping off. Again, body language here, not goal side. And now everybody's moving over to this left side, okay? Everybody's body language. The only person that's recognizing to pick up over here is Licky at right back, okay? And so still getting dragged out to the left-hand side. Everybody's eyes on the ball. Again, 1, 2 players completely unfree, and here's what happens. So here we've got a good example of forward movement on receiving the ball. It's Avery, sorry, that is out on the right side, not Kit Kat like I was saying earlier. So receiving in the middle, she's dropped in as from striker to receive that ball. Good turn, and then plays a nice quick two-touch pass in between their centre back and their left back. Avery recognises very quickly that Kaz has got time to turn and play forwards, and starts the run in behind nice and early. This needs to happen more often, all right? We get caught just watching our forwards kind of meandering forwards or kind of waiting for the person on the ball to make the decision. I want my forwards to be the decision makers, and the people on the ball are then just going to have to go with whatever the forwards are doing. So good turn, good attacking run, just a little ahead of Avery, but the intent is good nonetheless. So almost exactly the same scenario as earlier, with Kaza receiving the ball after dropping in from striker and then playing the straight ball for Avery's run. This is, again, a great example of decisive movement from our winger and then the correct pass selection from the person playing the pass. It's a straight ball, it's a diagonal run, it's obvious what Avery wants, Kaza can read it quite easily, the ball gets played, simple soccer. So here's a good example of some good body language from our right winger in Kit Kat here. Okay, Maddie picking up the ball in the middle third with space to turn. Kit Kat immediately makes that diagonal run in behind, exactly what we're after there. Okay, gets inside of the player. The issue is Maddie takes way too many touches before playing it, leading to Kit Kat, number one, being caught offside, and number two, their left back reading the run and managing to get back goal side of her. If you see now, if by this point here, Maddie's looking to release, Kit Kat's already showing that she's going. Maddie plays that ball into there towards the penalty spot. Kit Kat's got the pace for days. Instead, another touch, another touch, another touch, and then plays. And by then, Kit Kat's way off, and the girls got caught her up, and nothing comes of it. So good body language from Kit Kat on the right wing, bit more decisiveness from Maddie to play that ball quicker. So here's another example of Maddie picking up the ball in a good position. This time we get more success from it for a couple of reasons. So Maddie now releases as soon as she sees Kit Kat make that run. So I just want to keep on highlighting this one because this was the goal of the day for me. It was exactly what we've been trying to get good at, that we will continue to try get better at. Timing of the runs, direction of the runs, and the intensity of the run. So we freeze here, Maddie carrying the ball, into space, okay? Huge trigger for our forwards that if we see this happening, that's a trigger for us to start making some, okay? Kit Kat now starting to recognize it with her body language, and when she sets off at 100%. Okay, none of this 50% kind of meandering forward stuff that we often see us doing. It's 100% in behind this player and diagonal as well. And as soon as it happens, you can see Maddie's got the body language, eyes are up. Okay, she doesn't take another touch. She waits for that run. The run happens before the pass, and as a result, great goal. So there she goes, setting off, boom, perfectly split, and great finish. Well done. More of that. That's exactly what we're after, okay? That's exactly how I want us playing. Make those runs, make it definitive, show the person on the ball what you want. There's no question in their mind. That is not happening frequently enough for me. The run happening before the pass. That's the way around it goes, and you can see how well we can do when we do it right.